We're going to turn to politics now and a departure from the 2024 Republican presidential field. On Saturday, former Vice President Mike Pence announced he was leaving the primary race less than 5 months after jumping in.
The Bible tells us that there's a time for every purpose under heaven. And traveling across the country over the past 6 months, I came here to say it's become clear to me this is not my time. So after much prayer and deliberation, I have decided to suspend my campaign for president effective today.
I had a great, successful presidency, and he was the vice president. He should endorse me. I chose him, made him vice president. But people in politics can be very disloyal. I've never seen anything like it. You know, they asked me a question. They asked me, traitor, he goes, but he could have done what he could have done, right? There's no question.
Meanwhile, a new Des Moines Register NBC News Mediacom poll out this morning shows a bit of movement in the race, but for second place, with former President Donald Trump still holding a commanding lead. Let's bring in NBC News national political correspondent Steve Kornacki at the big board. So, Steve, where is their movement for second place, and who is it?
Yeah, for second place, for a distant second place, we should stress, 76 days before the caucuses, though this is what our new poll shows. Trump still with an overwhelming advantage here. But look, DeSantis, who's been running second in Iowa and nationally and elsewhere all year, has now been joined for a tie in second place by Nikki Haley, the former South Carolina governor and UN ambassador. And we took a poll here with the Des Moines Register back in August, and you could see that is Haley. That's a 10-point jump for her since August. She was at 6%. Now she's at 16. DeSantis has actually dropped off by 3 points. Trump has added 1 to his support there. One thing to keep in mind, too, with the Trump support, you see that massive lead. There's also a depth to his support that we're seeing in our poll. Nearly 2/3, 63% of Trump's backers say their minds are already made up and they are definitely voting for him. And that definitely voting for number for any of these other candidates is much, much lower. So it's another layer to that advantage that Trump has. But yes, we do have a contest there for second place now. Haley and DeSantis, both in double digits, both tied.
But Nikki Haley, of course, with momentum. And has Ron DeSantis grown at all, or is he just holding at his number?
Yeah, as you can see, he's fallen 3 points here. The one thing I keep in mind is that, yes, Haley has climbed. And I think there's a temptation when we look at polls like this to say, well, you know, there's Trump and there's non-Trump. And if we add up all the non-Trump and compare it to Trump, it looks like there's a real close race there. If you look inside the numbers in this poll, let's say DeSantis left the race. OK, he's at 16 right now. There's a tendency or a temptation to say, hey, Haley would get that support. She could move real close to Trump there into the 30s. But this poll found, they asked DeSantis voters, if he leaves the race, who would be your second choice? And 41% said Donald Trump would be their next choice. Only 27% said that Haley would be their next choice. So that's a thing to keep in mind when you look at these numbers here. For somebody like Haley, for any of these other non-Trump candidates, as they drop out, it's not automatic that the votes of somebody who drops out are going to a non-Trump candidate. A lot of them are going to go to Trump. This poll says if DeSantis drops out, Trump benefits more than Nikki Haley does. What's happening with Haley right now is it's among independent voters, for instance, where she's showing particular strength. The independent voters, about 1 in 5 Iowa caucus goers. And look at this. She's moved up to 21% among independents. That's a huge jump for her from the last poll. But again, what she's doing here is her appeal is outside the Republican Party, independents, and her appeal is with the Republicans who have negative views of Donald Trump. If she wants to keep growing and really make this a race, she's got to expand her appeal to core Republican voters, and she's got to win over voters who right now say they are more inclined, more ready to vote for Trump over her. She's got to win over Trump-friendly Republicans. Again, we just say if you look overall here, favorable, unfavorable among Republicans in Iowa. I think this is notable, too. Yeah, the most popular Republican in Iowa is not Trump.
Ron DeSantis.
It's Ron DeSantis. He has failed to convert that popularity into broad support. But if you notice, he tactically, he lays off Trump a lot when he's sort of baited to go after Trump. So I think he's not engendered hostility from Trump supporters, but he's not winning over Trump supporters with that strategy either. I think what's most notable, too, is just draw a line right here. The three candidates who are deeply unpopular with Iowa Republican voters all have something in common. They have taken huge incoming fire from Donald Trump. They've gone after Donald Trump directly. You see, one of them is Mike Pence. You just played that clip. I mean, Trump's been talking about Pence that way for a couple of years now, and Republicans have sided with Trump in that battle. Pence, 32 favorable, 65 unfavorable with Iowa Republicans. So those are numbers you see that he's looking at that got him to make that decision. And I think if there's one number here that stands out among all others to explain Mike Trump's, Mike Pence's, I can say this right, exit, it's this. Evangelical voters in Iowa, they make up 2/3 of caucus goers. This is supposed to be the core group for Mike Pence. He thought he had a special bond with them, could develop a special bond. Again, this poll was taken just before he dropped out of the race. And look at this. Among evangelicals in Iowa, Mike Pence had fallen all the way to 1%. Donald Trump at 43.
I'll never understand it.
So that's the story. This is Pence believed he could camp out in Iowa.
Starting with Stormy Daniels, ending with whatever you want. I just don't get it. Steve Kornacki, thank you.
You got it.
Sorry, I know you don't want to say anything. Steve